After this Vidya Pradarsana, Bhishma goes to Satyavati, Ambika, Ambalika and tells them that it is time for you, for all three of you to go to forest and start your penance and indulge yourself in prayers and things like that. Because I think it is Vyasa who says this, not Bhishma. Vyasa says this. It is time for all three of you to go to forests and indulge yourself in penances because the time that is going to come is not going to be good for your dynasty. And if you guys are here, you will be extremely sad looking at all the developments that are happening within your families. So, for your benefit, for your own benefit, I think it is good for you guys to retreat into the forests. From this point of time, you will not see Satyavati, Ambika, Ambalika in the story of Mahabharata. They retreat, they go to the forest, they start penance, they do a lot of prayers, and eventually they die, they pass away with time. They grow old and they pass away. That is, there ends the story of Satyavati, Ambika and Ambalika. Now, after this, everybody understands one thing very clearly, that even the citizens of Hastinapura understand this. They understand that not everything is very well between Kauravas and Pandavas. They have a divide between themselves. And there is a possible conflict, not from outside of the country. The threat is not from outside of the country, but from within the country. That is what they are thinking. Now, where are we? Yeah, this is done, and everybody gets an understanding that not everything is going on fine with between Kauravas and Pandavas. There is a conflict. There is a possible conflict, and in future, if there is a conflict, that is going to be from within the country, not from outside of the country. That is the understanding they get. So, after the entire episode of Kumara Vidya Pradarsana, everybody thinks that it is time to declare who is the next, who is the prince or who is the king to be for Hastinapura. And Dhritarashtra, it's a no-brainer for everybody, because everybody loves Dharmaraja. Everybody knows that Dharmaraja is the one who stands for Dharma, and everybody else follows that. If a person like Dharmaraja is the king, nobody dares to do anything which is adharma, because Dharmaraja doesn't spare anybody who is doing adharma. So everybody votes for Dharmaraja to be the prince, to be the future king. And Duryodhana doesn't have a choice, not Duryodhana, sorry. Dhritarashtra doesn't have a choice. Dhritarashtra declares Dharmaraja as the prince and the king to be. Okay? And everybody appreciates that. Bhishma is happy, Vidura is happy, everybody is happy. One night, Duryodhana goes to his father and says, your entire life, you have just been an acting king. You are the right owner for this entire kingdom. You are the righteous person to have become a king. But look at your life. Look at you. You have never been in a spot where people respected you or people treated you as the king. You only had it as a title, but never the powers of the king. Everybody looked up to Panduraju as the king. And now look at us. What have you done to us? I am never going to be the king. It is Dharmaraja who is going to be the king. And what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be a slave to him? And my future, my next generations, my kids and their kids and their kids, everybody, what do you think they all should be doing? They all should be serving the Pandavas' progeny, Pandavas' sons and grandsons and great grandsons. Is that what we are supposed to do? Why? What are you thinking in your own head? He asked this question. Then Dhritarashtra, up until now, Dhritarashtra never showed any kind of difference between his own kids and Pandavas. He has been a very nice father role, right? Panduraju died, and Dhritarashtra was very sad that he lost a brother, and he has treated his brother's sons as his own sons. He never showed any kind of difference. At least that is what we thought up until the story. But in this event, in this scene, Dhritarashtra tells Duryodhana, what do you want me to do? What can I tell people of Hastinapura? What can I tell Bhishma? What can I tell Vidura? If they ask me, if I make you the future king, and they will question me, they're not going to leave me. How am I going to defend my decision? How can I finger point at Dharmaraja who is flawless? So he's saying, he's not telling his son that Dharmaraja deserves it, that's why he got it, and you shut up and get lost. He's not saying that to his son. He's telling his son, my hands are tied. If I had an opportunity, I would have somehow declared you as the future king. That is what he's telling his son. What do you guys think at this point about Dhritarashtra? What is his character? Is he a nice person? Not a nice person? Yes, Atharva, go ahead. Do you guys agree? Is it clear? Are the intentions of Dhritarashtra clear at this point? Because it is very important for us to understand the intentions of Dhritarashtra. If there are confusions, we can stop and discuss.
Wait, he only chose the what's like right and logical though.
What?
Choosing Dharmaraja.
He's choosing Dharmaraja,
That's
but
logical, though.
yeah, correct. He's choosing Dharmaraja, and he appears to be very law-abiding at this point. But when Duryodhana comes and asks, what should Dhritarashtra tell Duryodhana? Yes.
That he deserves, like Dharmaraja deserves to be
Correct.
like king.
To be the king, and you need to work on your skills. You need to work on your own qualities and earn the title. But what is he telling Duryodhana?
Instead, he tells him that he never had a choice.
Yeah, he
that
did not have a
everyone
choice.
Wanted them.
Yeah, he did not have a choice. So if he had a choice, whether Duryodhana was deserving or not, he would have given the throne to Duryodhana. That's what it means, right? Bhishma is there. He questions me. Vidura is there. He'll not let me do anything that is against dharma. So my hands are tied. How can I make you the king? Immediately people are going to question me. Question my ethics. So I cannot do anything at this point of time.
So he's
So
choosing Dharmaraja with the wrong intention.
yes, he's choosing Dharmaraja. He is putting a very nice face, good face in front of people, but behind the scenes in his head, he's envious of his own brother's sons.
Oh, like
He's thinking that my kingdom, which should be going to my own children, these guys are snatching away. That is what he's thinking about Pandavas in his head. That happens. Sorry?
He's as bad as his son.
You need to be louder. You need to be clearer.
He's as bad as his son, or something like that.
He's not embarrassing his son. What he's doing is he's telling his son that I don't have a choice, so I had to do it. But given a choice, I would make you the future king, irrespective of your qualities, irrespective of your behavior, irrespective of anything, irrespective of your capabilities. I would have made you the king. But
He's opening mouth that's saying that he's acting in front of the people.
correct, correct.
His own son will be the king.
Yeah, he's just acting in front of people. He's just putting up a poker face in front of people. Because if he does not make Dharmaraja as the future king, if he does not declare Dharmaraja as future king, everybody is going to question him. Nobody is going to let him do that, right? Because the Bhishma is there. Bhishma is still the caretaker of the entire kingdom. As Duryodhana rightly mentioned, Dhritarashtra is the acting king. He doesn't have power. So he's saying that I don't have any reasoning. I don't have a logical reasoning to put in front of people if I have to dismiss Dharmaraja and put you in that place. So tell me, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me. That's what Dhritarashtra is saying. Duryodhana, at that point of time, he goes back. He retreats. Now Duryodhana understands, okay, my father is on my side. He's doing it under pressure because he doesn't have a choice, but my father is on my side. That is the message that Duryodhana got at this point of time. Now Duryodhana goes back to his palace. Few days pass by, and all the four brothers of Dharmaraja, they go into each direction and they start conquering the countries in that direction. They conquer and they add those countries into the mainland of Hastinapura. They get so much of riches from there. So when they go to conquer, some of the kings, they surrender, saying that no, we don't want to wage a war with you. We want to be friends with you. So let's have a deal. that kind of a thing. So what happens in that case is they will take some money or some wealth from the king, and they extend their military protection to them. So if somebody is coming and waging war with that particular king, then all the army of Hastinapura goes to protect them. So that is the kind of deal that they will have with a lot of kingdoms. They have that. So either they are friendly kingdoms, or they win over those kingdoms and they annex the land. They take away the land and merge it into the Hastinapura. So each of the brother goes into one direction, and they conquer lot of kingdoms. They conquer and they get it, and they surrender everything to Dharmaraja. So within next couple of years, the kingdom of Hastinapura has expanded like anything, and everybody is so happy to see the expansion of the country. Whereas Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra are sad, right? Because they are making good name for themselves. Yes.
Isn't it not dharma to kill other kings for the riches?
They are not killing the other kings for riches alone. So what is happening is they want to establish dharma. So if a person like Dharmaraja is trying to make a relationship with another king, there is no reason why the other king has to deny that friendship, right? Deny that opportunity to have a friendship with Dharmaraja. If they are opposing, it means they are not dharmic in nature. They are against dharma. Whoever is in favor of dharma, they want to have friendship with Dharmaraja and his family. So what they do is, yeah, let's be friends and let's strike a deal. That is what some of the kings do. Whereas some of the kings are just saying that, no, I don't want you anywhere close to me. I will kill you, and I will not let you into my country. So it is always very important to have an emperor. So Dharmaraja at this point is not just a king, he's an emperor. There's a difference between emperor and a king. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the difference?
The difference is that like a king owns a certain part of the land. A king owns a certain part of a land, while an emperor owns like a really big.
Yeah, emperor owns some of the smaller kingdoms also. So a lot of kings also are under an emperor. So Dharmaraja is going to a status of an emperor. Okay? Huh? Like king of kings. That is the status that he was going to. And obviously, Kauravas are all jealous of the situation. And then, after a few years, Duryodhana comes up with a very, very, very dangerous plan, a lethal plan. I just told you that these guys are hatching a very, very, very lethal plan against Pandavas. So now there are 4 people who form a group. 4 bad people form a group. Who are they? Kids.
Are 2 of them Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana?
Not Dhritarashtra. Duryodhana for sure. Yes. Duryodhana, Shakuni, Dusasana. Correct. Karna. These 4 people are always hatching plans against Pandavas. All these 4 are bad people. So Dushta stands for bad. Okay? Dushta means bad. There are 4. There are a pact of 4. It is called Chatushtayam. The number 4 in Sanskrit or in Hindi, in Telugu languages, Chaturtha or Char means 4. Chatushtayam means 4 people who are bad. Like Dushta is bad, right? Dushta Chatushtayam. These 4 people are referred to as Dushta Chatushtayam. If at any point of time in the story, if I am referring to all these 4 people, I will not take their names individually. I can just say Dushta Chatushtayam, and then you have to think about these 4 people. I am not going to use the names of all those people, all these 4 people individually. It's up to you to remember these names. Who is Shakuni?
The evil of
Can you tell again?
The evil uncle of Duryodhana and Dusasana.
Correct. So he's brother of
Dhritarashtra?
Dhritarashtra is Panduraju and Vidura, right? Gandhari. I introduced, but not at a great length. So Sekuni is the brother of Gandhari. Okay? And he is the maternal uncle of Duryodhana, Dushasana, and all of the 100 Kauravas. Okay? So all these 4 people are always together and hatching plans. Dushasana is blindly follows Duryodhana. Duryodhana shows a cow and he calls it a dog. Dushasana says, yeah, it's a dog. It's not a cow, it's a dog. So that kind of ardent follower is Dushasana. Okay? And Karna is a very thick friend of Duryodhana. Karna has a lot of gratitude towards Duryodhana. Why?
Duryodhana gave him a piece
Kingdom,
of land to
piece of kingdom, right? Yes. That is why Karna is always
on his side.
on his side, and he has a ton of gratitude towards Duryodhana. And we spoke about these 2 people. Shakuni is a very, very slimy guy. Very, very bad intentions he has got. He is always into adharma. He is attracted towards adharma. That kind of a person is Sekuni. So all these people with a similar kind of mindset are on one side and they are hatching a plan. What they plan is, we need to kill Pandavas. That is the ultimate goal. Goal of this entire plan is to get all the 5 Pandavas and Kunti killed. Yes. But how do we do it? If they are in Hastinapura,
Why Kunti?
because if she is alive, she will be crying for Pandavas and people will, and she will also say things like, probably these guys did something to my sons. And there will be a lot of conflict. If she is also dead, there is nobody who's going to really talk about Pandavas. The chapter will be entirely closed.
What about Bhishma?
Yeah, but Bhishma also wants to protect his kingdom, right? Okay, Pandavas have anyways died. But what happens to my kingdom if I also throw away Kauravas? Somebody has to take care of the Hastinapura, right? So we can do something about them. But first set of people that should die is Pandavas and Kunti. And all of them know that if Pandavas and Kunti are in Hastinapura, we cannot kill them. Because they are very well protected in the palace. They are protected by Bhishma, they are protected by Vidura, there are a lot of layers of protection for them. So we cannot kill them as long as they are in Hastinapura. We need to send them out. How do we send them out? What should we do to send them out? So all 4 of them decide that we will build a palace far away from this place, and we will send all 5 of them to that place. What? So, in the next episode, we will talk about what is the kind of palace and how do they talk Pandavas into moving into the palace. Okay? And then what happens from there. Okay, it's 4:30. Yes.
I think I know what it's built out of.
Okay, but don't tell.